So hi, I'm Kieran Nixon. I'm the Student Union President at the University of Bedfordshire.
Hi, my name is Liam Bloomfield. I'm the Vice President of Sports at BEDSSU.
So before going to university, I came from a small town called Cheltenham, which is coincidentally the same as where Liam's from, but we met in our third year. Before I came to university, I think I was anxious, nervous about people I'd live with, the surrounding that I'd be in, because, coming from where I am, you hear horror stories about Luton and things like that. And obviously I think my parents were the same as that. But it turned out to be all good in the end. I moved in, everything was good. Haven't had a problem since living in Luton. I don't know, what's your experience on this?
No, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's obviously coming from Cheltenham, you could say that we were born a privilege, but coming to Luton has been really like an eye opener. Seeing a very diverse range of people, and it's actually really refreshing to know that Luton isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. So moving here, I've had a very positive experience. I've been here moving into my 5th year now, actually living in Luton, and the experience I've had and memories that I've made from being at university, do you know what I mean? Just so memorable.
Yeah, it's weird because you come on that first day, and you're expecting, oh my God, this is quite overwhelming because you're leaving home, you're leaving your mum and dad for the first time, your siblings, your dog, everything for the first time. And it can be quite scary, quite daunting. But as soon as you get to uni and you see everyone else is in the exact same boat as you, it's like a weight's lifted off your shoulders and you're like, oh, okay, you know what? It's not actually that bad. And obviously then you have freshers.
Going back to freshers as a whole, it's just such a unique way to meet new people. And something a lot of people forget, they move to university, they're scared, they're worried to mix, they're worried to move out of their safety space and out of this bubble. But essentially what you've got to remember is everybody is in the same situation as you.
Yeah.
And everybody's nervous. Everyone's, anxious to meet new people. But I think most important, I think everyone's excited. Everyone's really excited about the thing. Just people have, I guess, different ways of showing it.
Yeah, I think that you can come from all walks of life. People come. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what background you have. Where you're from. You come to university and you always find friends which you would never really be friends with outside of university. You would never. And I mean, I say that I'm friends with Liam, and we're from the same place. That's a confusion, but. But you do have people that you just would never ever be friends with unless you go to university and you make that first initial contact that is probably the scariest one in terms of going out and speaking to people that you don't know. And I think that's a fear for a lot of young people at the moment, is going out and talking to people that they don't know and that might think of them as weird or different. But when you get to university, you find people that are similar to you, that have gone through a completely different, have a completely different background to yourself. But you still have the same interests, the same hobbies, the same things that you can rely on. And I think one thing which I personally vouch for, that when I got to university, which I think was the turning point in how I found these people, was joining a sports team, joining a society. Finding getting involved in things that actually happen at university rather than just being passive and go to my lectures and then go back to my flat. Actually being involved in the community that is university. And I know that it took you a couple of years to get into that, but then when you did,
So I was obviously a little bit biased because obviously the Vice President of Sport now at the BEDSSU, but so as Kieran said, it took me until my 3rd year to actually be part of a sports team, and from joining a sports team and being part of a sports team for 2 years now, I madly regret it, because I know that the experience I've had for these 2 years actually in a sports team, what I've missed in the other 2 years where I wasn't part of a sports team. I always put it off. I was just I didn't want to be part of a sports team because they drank too much or something. But it's not the case. Not everybody drinks and everything. It's being part of something bigger, being part of the university community, where there's so many similar people to you in that team, and you all bond on a sport that you all enjoy playing. And I just think it's very, very, very nice too.
But it, as you say there with sport, it's similar to for anything. You could have a society that you want. I know at BEDSSU we have a rule where all you need is yourself and 4 other people to create a society. So it's not even, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of universities and unions across the UK, where you don't have to have like a thing which everyone has to get involved in. You can literally just be something that is
you and your friends.
Yeah, you and your friends that can be as weird as you like. And if you think it's something that you want to do, that's fine in doing.
So in academia, moving from A-levels college into university, I found the transition to be relatively positive, actually. I thought that it got to the point where when you get to university, everybody that is on your course is there for a reason. They want to study this course. They want to do well. Everybody wants to help each other. Everybody is progressively trying to, stand on each other's shoulders. There we go. To everyone wants to promote each other and everyone wants to do well, because once you get into the field that you want to pursue potentially for the rest of your life, these are people that you need to network with, people that are potential colleagues later on in life. And I just think that when you get to a degree level, I think that people will start taking things a lot more seriously and are here, for the academics, where opposed to college, where some people are there just to mess around, some people are not interested in their studies, some people are there just so they can get a letter on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Where I think when you get, like you said, when you get to a degree, things start getting a lot more serious and people start actually caring about the academics more than the social aspect of.
Yeah. I think we've seen recently, like a major shift in, because of like tuition fees and everything like that, we've seen a major shift in how people perceive university. So people go to university not just to get, not to go there and just, have a jolly like probably our parents did and things like that.
Okay. Definitely heard stories.
Exactly. They've come to now they actually want to learn and they want to do well, and so people are now choosing degrees which will benefit them in the long run. And I think there's some stat that some people that are going through primary school now don't even, like, the jobs that they're going to get aren't even made yet. So it's like ridiculous like that this world that we're aiming to is like massive. And so people are now thinking about long term rather than just, I want to have a jolly at uni. So for me, when I came to university, I very much was interested in media and TV production and things like that. So I chose my degree in something that I wanted to do. And it, by all means, it definitely excelled in that. As Liam said, all my course mates were really handy. My lecturers were all really, really good. But I wouldn't be sat here now in my role as BEDSSU president if I hadn't have got into the extracurricular activities, because if you just go to university to get your degree, yes, you probably come out of it with a bit of paper, but you lose so many life skills, and you lose the experience of doing things different and not trying things like you, as we said it, like you can go to university and do the bare minimum, which for some people is just lie in bed all day and like copy a couple of lectures, which I would strongly advise not to do. But you can just go to your lectures, which is fine. But there's hundreds and hundreds of things. It doesn't have to be sport or societies. You can get involved with academic societies, changing things in terms of like how your university and your unions run. And I just strongly advise anybody that is going to university to make the most of the £9,250 or so that you're spending, and not just get a degree, but get all these life skills that come with it. So,
best place to do that as well is at our Freshers' Fair. Everything you will need to know, everything that you want to get involved in, or anything that you want to set up your own society or set up your own sport, come down to the Freshers' Fair. The Freshers' Fair, if you're a student at the university, will offer everything that mostly what we offer and what you can get involved in.
So yeah, I think for in terms of independence, when you move to university, it's obviously for a lot of people it's a massive step, and some people it can be quite overwhelming. For myself, who mummy did everything.
Still not independent.
Yeah, probably not. He does all my cooking now. But yeah, so my mum did everything for me in terms of cooking and washing and stuff. It's quite a shift in terms of, oh damn, like I've got to do my own washing, I've got to do my own cooking, and you do probably for the first month or so. In my area, from my experience, I let all my washing build up, and then when I went home, I chucked it in a couple of bin bags and took it home. Now, for mums watching, I'm sorry if kids are going to do that, but yeah. but it's all a part of growing up, and it's all part of being independent, is, as we've said earlier, is making those mistakes, and unless you make those mistakes where your mum's going to get annoyed, or your dad's going to get annoyed, or whoever's going to get annoyed at you for bringing stuff home or not eating correctly or whatever, like there's always you learn from that, and then you do start to make nicer food, and you move away from the things which you used to do, which because it was just easy, you start to challenge yourself, and by the time you get to finishing your degree, you're your own human. You don't need to be at home anymore.
Yeah. I think for me, like the independency was just like little things like having to iron your tops before going out, or like just little things like you get ready for a night out, and then obviously your parents would like maybe have ironed your clothes, and then you're like, I've got to iron my shirt. But I think it's a very nice way of growing up and like taking responsibility in your life and moving away from that dependency you have on your parents, and bringing it back to like putting it on yourself and holding yourself accountable. And you're just like, do you know what I mean? I really need to save money this month doing it. Not like, mum, dad, can I have some more money or something like that. And I think it's just a really nice way of growing up. And something that I felt that helped was the people that I surrounded myself with. So people that I lived in halls with, people that I lived in houses with, they're all in the same situation, and they're all like progressively trying to get more independent, and part of, like you said, that stage of like growing up. So I think that if you surround yourself with the right people at university and the people you live with, like everyone's going through the same transition in their life. Everyone's trying to become, that adult, that grown up. Well, some of us, but I think the transition to independency. I wouldn't say I'm there 100% there yet, but it's obviously being here 4 or 5 years. We're slowly getting to that stage, and I'm enjoying the transition. I like being more independent. I do. For first year students, my best bit of advice is get involved in absolutely everything you can. And like, this is not me saying like this from a BEDSSU standpoint. This is me like regretting my decision as a first year myself, and even a second year. The thing is, like, I was socially around. I'd go to some of the events and everything, and I did have a wide pool of friends, but I didn't get involved in what the union offers and what the university offers. I was very reluctant to get involved, and I was like, it's there, but I'm not really bothered. I regret my decision as a first year student not being involved in a sports team, for one, not being involved in societies, and just not using the full range of services that are on offer for you. Because at the end of the day, you pay, what is it now, 9,000?
9,250.
Yeah.
Try absolutely everything that you can possibly do, but also don't be afraid to challenge things, like as in, if you don't think something's right with how your university is run, if that be your lecturers, if that be, your halls, or, anything, don't be afraid to go up to someone and say, I don't think this is right. Like, so many people, you pay all that money, you've got to be able to get the best from your university experience. And if you're not, you need to be able to tell people. And if you don't tell people, like, you're not doing yourself any credit. Like, you have a voice, you need to make sure you use it. And so, if you come to the University of Bedfordshire, come see me, come see Liam, the other three. If you go to another university, go and see our equivalents at that university. If you have a good thing to say, a bad thing to say, even just to say, hey, just make sure that you know them and that your voice is heard, because it's so important in this day and age to make sure that what you're paying for is an absolutely incredible university experience.